Alright, welcome back to SOS. I'm Stats Arm Badass. It's Sunday. This is my things I think about, and I've had a lot on my mind today about people, and it's with people and understanding people and SHTF scenario, post-apocalyptic world. I'm not going to be able to flip open a computer, say, alright, I need to know the credentials on Billy. You know, it's not going to happen. You know, you're not going to be able to look people up anymore. And once you get in that kind of world, you're not going to be able to find out if Billy is legit, or, you know, if it's safe to let him be in your group. And one more thing you won't have to worry about. You won't have to worry about Facebook stalkers or anything like that. I'm not on Facebook. There's going to be a bunch of people that do that. You won't have to worry about reading directions correctly anymore, you know, following complete directions, right? If I say, it's kind of like in, I took a lot of courses when I was in the Marine Corps. When I had downtime, I would take a class on something, or I would get voluntold to take a class. It's kind of like when you, I remember taking a brig chaser class, and in that brig chaser class, it's where you chase people down that you've got to, okay, so you go with them, okay, you have to know how to cuff and uncuff and things like that, and you take people around, you take them to medical, and, you know, they do their thing, they're doing their checkout process, or they've got legal stuff, you know, they've got to go see this person or that person, or whatever it is, you know, getting them ready for their trial, or, you know, whatever. But you have to do these certain duties. Well, there was that. I remember taking conflict resolution classes and things like that. This is kind of a mix of things that I've learned, and I kind of been thinking a lot about this lately, because it's like, what if you have like a guy or a gal that is, what if they're bananas? I mean, because everything, you have to have a standard, okay? You have to have a standard for yourself. You have to set goals and standards for yourself, for your group. You know what I mean? You can't just, if you don't want to let certain people into it, then don't. If they're going against everything you stand for, you know, there's going to be people that don't like that idea. They don't like that you won't let them in their life. You know, you won't let that person into your life. You know, they might get offended that, what do you mean you don't like me? I thought we were friends. You know what I mean? They give you that intense, crazy, psychopathic stare. If someone stares at you for too long, they're crazy, I'm telling you. It's true. It's really true. They stare for too long. Am I staring at you too long? I'm just kidding. So, if a person stares at you intensely, yes, it does mean that they're nutso, slightly, you know, or they could be lying, and they have to focus on one thing to keep from lying. So just keep that in mind. That goes into some of the different training courses, reading body languages and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes in. I'm rambling again. And it could be random. I mean, it's usually I do randomness, whatever. But I like making these kinds of videos because it's just kind of whatever. All right. Person did not like that you did not like them, or that you wouldn't let them into. I got to follow the bouncing ball again. If you did not want them in your group, and you said, look, Billy, you can't be in the group, they might not like that you said that. You know, it might go that way. Some things cannot be said. You know, some things cannot be said. Not to them. You can't say it in their face. I mean, you know, being a real man, you know, a man's man, you might have to say things to a person's face. But let's not kid ourselves. If you were a man's man and you told them that you don't want them in your group, it could go south. And you could have some major problems. I mean, they could run off flopping their arms like a chicken into the night. You know what I mean? Just, you know, running away like this number right here. He's gonna cry in the car, man. He could run off flying off into the night like that, or very sad kind of way, right? You know, he goes out into the woods and cries, you know, because he wouldn't get in the group. And then a darkness settles over him, and he realizes, I must get even. I must seek revenge on their camp. I will punish everyone there. You know, and then he becomes like the opposite Punisher. You know, that guy. Yeah. he's not he's not Frank Castle. He's like Billy Castle or something, whatever. I don't know. I'm cracking myself up now. So, a good bouncer, okay, let's say this, and I'm being random. A good bouncer can talk a person out of a situation. That's one thing to keep in mind. And you have to learn how to communicate things. Hold back slightly. Don't give 100%. You don't have to raise your komodo for everybody. You can talk people out of a conflict without having to strike anyone, without having to put your hands on anybody and things like that, without giving the full intent. You don't have to give everybody the full intent. If it's a situation like that and you don't want that person in your group because it could lead to other things. Say, for example, if they had misbehaved, if they had done wrong things, if they had been bad or evil or whatever the case is, I don't care. Stole a dude's car and blew it up. I don't know. Wrap your mind around it. Anything. Okay. Kicked a poodle. Whatever he did that was wrong. Okay. And you didn't like it. And you decided we couldn't have that going on. And you told that person, you just flat out told them, we can't have that around here. And they realize it and they catch on to it. Usually leads to more mischief. It leads to more bad things, immaturities. It leads to more things that they find they're not going to rest until they have, hey, did you see what I did? Did you see? They would probably, like, if I offended them, they would cut the head off my T-Rex and just leave it there, bloody, messy T-Rex on my counter, and they would leave it for me to find it. And it killed my T-Rex. I'm mad now. I ain't got no T-Rex anymore. It's kind of like fights and arguments. Keying someone's car, or I've never keyed anyone's car, but I would rather someone punch me in the face than someone go key my truck, which I really wouldn't care if anybody keyed my truck or not because it's covered in dents and scratches anyways. But that's what a truck's for. You're supposed to put scratches on it. But I digress. The point of this is that if you refuse to let a person into your life in SHTF scenario, post-apocalyptic world, it could lead into more things. I'll show you. You know what I mean? They could, break your stuff. You know what I mean? I'm gonna throw your pack off this cliff and you'll never see it again. You know what I mean? That's my bug out bag. Why? It's in the river. Oh, there it goes. Then you both die, right? Then you both die. It's one of those things. Being able to talk yourself through a situation without having to reveal the whole thing. We don't want Billy around. Just, hey, Billy, can you go over there for a second and get some firewood or something? Find something for him to do. And then the buddies and everything, your group, that has to break it to Billy. It can be done as a group instead of doing it by yourself, or finding something else for Billy to do would help, to resolve a problem. But it didn't end in violence, and nobody had to die. No one had to break stuff. There is ways around that. I mean, this is just to give you some ideas to get started. There's books on this sort of thing. I've read quite a few of those books, on top of stuff that I've learned personally. And also going into this is, if you're dealing with deceitful people, someone that's doing mischief like that or causing problems, it's kind of like talking to your kids. You'll always know if your kids are lying because they'll tell you they didn't do it. They just keep telling you over and over again I didn't say that, kid. I'm asking you this. And I didn't do it. But sometimes, I know that sounds ridiculous, even when it comes to kids, because you still have to listen to kids, because sometimes kids will say that they didn't do it, and they actually didn't do it. So you have to be careful with that one too. But reading body language, I've noticed if they're trying to focus, if they're, my son, when he lies, he does this thing. He goes like that. He does this whole, and I know you did it, didn't you? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of his tick, is what he does. He does that number. I know he's lying to me. And everybody has something that they do when they lie. They put their hand over their shoulder or something when they're talking. Their hand over their mouth, or on their head. I gotta tell you this, man. I didn't mean to do it. You know what I mean? It's like if they didn't mean it, just be straight up, man. Just people who act more casual, are better. Those are okay. The people that you would more believable people. They're more casual, that and carry themselves kind of normal. Okay, waving my hands around is not a form or a sign. Staring at someone intensely for too long in an awkward, weird kind of way, that's, there's something going on there. And, standing too hardcore, too long, too tensely, they're focusing too hard on standing still. If they're moving around, a lot and going twitchy, then, something's going on there. If, there's so many different things, so many different signs for it, but casualness, hey brother, I need to talk to you. That's casual. You know what I mean? That's just normal. If you look at them just for a sec and look away, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just normal. That's normal behavior. Most people think that they're being awkward because they're looking away. But you can look away. I mean, I would rather somebody kind of like look at me just slightly and then look away. That I sense more honesty in that than and more genuine than someone who's focusing way too hard and trying to stare through my soul. It's not going to work as well. I'm not going to get the right kind of vibe from a person like that. But casual, like I'm in the South, so I deal with there's a lot of casual people around me, and they come up, hey man, how's it going? And they walk up, might have one hand in the pocket, one hand out, kind of thing, and that's the norm, normalcy, and after an SHTF scenario, I guess you'd have to think of one more thing. People are going to start hardening. They're going to start hardening, and they're not going to be so nervous. I don't think a lot of people tend to be a little bit more nervous nowadays in behavioral things, because a lot of people I'm just saying a lot of people. I didn't generalize and say everyone, but there are people that lack social skills and communicating with another human being. That leads to a lot of it. Once people start getting hardened up, it's taking normal people, everyday normal people, and putting them in situations of death and chaos and stuff like that, and total tragedy. It's going to transform them into something else. This isn't like, Billy hit his hand with a hammer. Billy saw someone lose their legs or their head or something. You know what I mean? So people are going to start hardening up and talking to you differently and carrying themselves a little bit differently. It's just going to happen. So you can't really, most of the stuff that I'm saying kind of now, as far as conflict resolutions, reading people, stuff like that, it's, like I said, it's going to be heightened and harder to read people as well. But I just figured I would share that. These are things I think about. I'm just driving down the road, to and from places, church and stuff. When I sit there daydreaming with an angry face, and everyone wonders if I'm all right. Is he all right? He looks so angry. I'm in deep thought. I'm thinking of things. All right. You're watching SOS. I'm Staff Sergeant Badass. I hope you have a beautiful, fabulous, fantastic rest of your Sunday. God bless you guys and gals. I love you. And rainbows and unicorns. And T-Rex still has his head. Psychos haven't came and gotten it yet. All right. God bless you guys. Take it easy.